Well, as you guys can see, we still have lots of snow here, but I'm really getting sick of staying on the couch, so I'm going to be working on our triple flow hood unit, and this is the entrance into Lab 3. So today I want to go over exactly what is all involved with that. So this is the space that I have to work with. I put up a false wall here yesterday, and this whole space is going to fit 3 flow hood units. In Lab 2, I'll bring you guys in there in a second. We designed a plenum that's mixing outside and inside air so that we don't get as many temperature fluctuations, and it works so well that we want to redesign this into a triple flow hood intake mixing box that we can use for this whole wing here. We're looking to expand another 40 feet this year, and I'll just bring you guys down here real quick. So this is going to be our main lab, and as time and money and when it makes sense, some point this year we're extending another 40 feet of incubation space. And then this lab that we're building is going to be pushing all that fresh air that's coming from outside, mixing it with inside air, pushing all that CO2 that these bags give off all the way out. And we're probably going to have some kind of circulation fan just to kind of mix up the air and as it's getting pushed out. And as of right now, we just have one AC unit here. This is a split heat pump, 2-ton unit. Our HVAC AC guy, he said that this is probably not enough for this expansion. However, we do have a unit just up here and back there into this lab, and we can probably take advantage of all this conditioned air and mix it up with a circulation fan and just push it all the way back there. So I'm going to bring you guys into Lab 2, and I'm just going to talk about how this unit works. And then today I'm going to get building I'm going to frame out most of the table, and we'll probably cut some holes in the wall here to put some 4-inch pipe for the intake system. I'll show you guys all about that. So we've been running this setup for about 2 years now, and this is a plenum that we've framed into a table. We have the motors. This is a 1200 CFM blower motor that we just have attached to the bottom of the table with a mounting bracket. This is the intake. For this table we have 2 4-inch pipes, and we have one filter cage housing for circulation that is mounted right here. And the new design, we're going to do 3 pipes for the intake, and we're actually going to have 2 of these filter cages on. This is a door, or just a closure that we can take off, and it gets mounted into the table here. So we framed some 2x4 this way so that we can actually fit in the table, and then we've just taken a 2x4 that we've cut in half, mounted it here, and that way we have a gap that then can snug close up to here. We've used a foam door seal that is going to make this snug. However, the bottom came off, and the only thing I can think of is it wasn't completely snug, and gravity, it just eventually fell off because the sticky side of the tape. And when I opened this, I haven't opened this for about 2 years, I actually had sawdust that had distributed on the bottom of the floor. So I'm going to be switching this up a little bit, probably switching to this foam, which sticks a lot better, that we use for these flow hoods, just how we mount them. So the flow hoods, they just mount with a seal there, and then they just sit right over top of the blower motor, and then the air is forced from underneath the table, pulls air from outside through the pipe. It also pulls air from this filter cage, comes up through the table and through the HEPA filter. So things to note, we had to put a bracket here just so that the filter wasn't getting sucked into the table. There's quite a bit of suction that we noticed that the filter is starting to cave. We're using 11 MERV furnace filters right now. So today I would like to have most of this table framed up, and I'd like to have those holes cut out. I'm getting a third flow hood box made by John Russo, who's a local cabinetry maker here in Summerland. So we only want to cut these holes when I have the 3 flow hoods on the table so that everything is exact, because these are custom units. These holes might not be all the same in each unit. Both of these flow hood units, they were made by Radworks. Dean has actually shut down since then, so Dean had made us 2 more, and John is going to be making us a third one of these for this triple flow hood workbench. And whenever I can trade either mushrooms or any kind of resource, we do that. In this case, John Russo is happy to help a local business, and he's making a third unit for us, and I've just been hooking him up with lots of fresh mushrooms. So anyways, guys, let's get into the video. I'm going to start by cutting out some holes, and then we'll work on getting that table framed in today. so that pretty much wraps up today. I am so cold. I got to get inside and warm up. My goal today was just to get the table framed out. What I have to do now is put a sheet of 1/4-inch plywood just underneath here to close up this gap. And then I'm going to be spray foam and siliconing all around the gaps. Here we have a 1/2-inch sheet of one good side finished plywood that'll go over top. And then it's just building the door. I've made it so I could do 2 sections. I put a 2x4 here, so I'm going to have a door there, or whatever you want to call it, a cover with the filter cage, and I'll have some handles that I can just pull it off, and we'll secure that with the foam seal and some lag bolts. So one here and one here. So we're going to have 2 filter cages on the outside with 11 MERV furnace filters, and then we have the 3 4-inch pipe for the intake. And if you guys are just starting out, I always suggest to my students that if you're really serious about this business, you really want to work with 2 flow hoods side by side, so that at least you can have 2 guys working and hammering out production. For us though, we're going to do a triple flow hood setup because we're looking to go another 40 feet in this building and possibly even more. So this is going to be our main hub for production. And long-term strategy, we're probably going to have actually a conveyor belt, which we're going to feed with a continuous band sealer. So we're going to inoculate, seal in the continuous band sealer, which will then go on a conveyor belt all the way down our incubation. So that could go as far as 100 feet, 150 feet, depending on how big we want to get. So this is part of our long-term strategy. So I'm not sure when I'll get back to this, guys, but I will keep you posted. This is something that's been put on hold for about a year, and I just really wanted to get this framed out today so I can kind of start visualizing how this space is going to look. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll catch you in the next one.